Hi, I am Dr. Kimberly Majeski. I am Associate Professor of Biblical Studies and Christian Ministries at Anderson University and the CEO and founder of strippedlove.org. You show up and you do the work even though the rug might be pulled out from under you the next day. So part of this is you get your chops in having all this passion and caring so deeply about what you're doing, and you have no idea if you're going to be open tomorrow because will the funds be there? But you just keep doing it because that's the thing you've got to do. And somehow we've been blessed that the river is kind of always, the current has moved us forward. The early days, to define the early days, the word struggle would be accurate. It was particularly hard for me because as an academic, the idea of really not knowing what you're doing is horrifying, right? Because what we do is we earn degrees so that we can do the thing well and be experts in our field. And so going from a place where I do have confidence and I have research and I have experience to back me up to a completely foreign atmosphere and people group was really, really scary. So yeah, the early days were always hard. There were never enough people and not enough money, and the weight of having to worry about whether or not you can pay the bills is huge. Because you are, in those days, I was doing, the outreach work. I was working with the women one-on-one. I was trying to empower and encourage my team, and I was trying to recruit volunteers, and I was trying to get the bills paid and go out and fundraise and write and research. And so all of that was just too much. And the need was growing before our scaffolding of how to meet the need had grown, and those were really hard days. What kept me going in those days really has to do with a personal sense of calling. I really felt like this was a mission to which I had been called, and that I was uniquely positioned to address. I shared a little bit that the first club I ever visited had a sign outside that said, "Now hiring the class of 2010. And in that moment, I knew that the same women I was pouring into, investing in, trying to empower and educate and raise up for the good of society and the world, for leadership in the church, these were the women that this industry was targeting. And we were then at odds. And what would it look like then if I could get in the way of that process and of that recruitment and of this, social ill? And so that's what kept me going. Well, we scaled our business like we did everything else, through a lot of trial and error. But somewhere along the way, I learned that there were things I was really good at and things I wasn't good at. I took the old StrengthsFinders test, and my gifts, all my 5 top gifts, I don't have any implementation. So I was just out there dreaming and visioning, and then you come back and your team is like, we can't pull that off. And then so I was always frustrated because they couldn't pull off what I was dreaming. And so once we learned about what our gifts were and what the need was, then we could kind of begin to structure what the work would look like and what was too much, what was on mission and what wasn't on mission, what was worthy and needful but that we couldn't take on. And so the last couple of years, we really fine-tuned it so that the highest paid person in our organization is our COO. And that is the person who we call her the Director of People and Programs. She is the person who is in the office, who is navigating all the coming and going and the events and the logistics and the staff And then we knew that we needed someone to kind of assist with programming, so we've been able to bring students in. And then as we launched this initiative to really address children, we wanted to bring in someone with some expertise in how to address and serve children. And so as we learned, again, as we narrowed what we could address, what we were uniquely gifted to be able to speak to, then we were able to say, well, okay, then this is what we can do. And then we could say, okay, well, this is what we need. So then we could write grants, right, to underwrite these particular initiatives. And so yeah, things 9 years in are certainly a lot more smooth than they were at year 3. At year 9, it is that I do this other job. I'm a professor. And what does it look like for both of my worlds to live together in a way that is healthy for me and for my family? So that's kind of the stage I am in now, is trying to evaluate what this next epoch will look like. I know for sure this work needs to happen and that it needs to go forward. I know for sure that I'm attached to it. What does it mean? You know, what does it mean for this sort of next chapter, this next decade, for me personally, and for what I'm to do and how I'm to participate? The one tip I would give to young entrepreneurs would be to go for it. To not let fear keep you from your dreams. To not let all the reasons why not keep you from doing the thing. If it's in you, you know, if the universe has placed this in your heart, it's for a reason. And it will be hard and it will challenge you. So be certain of that. But if it's in you, then you'll die a little bit each day if you don't go after it.